Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back again. We're on day three of the virtual AF Beer Festival. It's been an amazing weekend so far. Yeah, just so pleased with it. Like all you guys at home, been chatting to each other and sharing stuff on social media. You seem to really be enjoying it, and yeah, it's been great to see sort of the passion from you, and also like the passion from the people we've been speaking to as well. We've had some really kind of inspiring and interesting conversations with some of the brewers and representatives that are out there making this amazing beer. So yeah, just huge thank you. And we've got four more sessions today. So yeah, again on the hour, and you can chat away in the YouTube stream. If you have any questions, just stick them in there and I'll try and answer them. If you just want to talk amongst yourself, that's fine as well. And so, yeah, so four more today. And just before I kind of carry on, I just wanted to say a big thank you to Tom at Wise Bartender, who put all the boxes together of beers. Just, yeah, without him and without him getting all those beers in and shipping them out to you guys, we wouldn't have really had the same type of festival that we've had this weekend where you can all get involved and drink along. So hopefully you all got the can of Crunch AF with you at home, because we're joined today by the founder of Hammerton, and that's Lee. So hi Lee, how's it going?
Hi guys, how you doing? Yeah, all good, Robin. Yeah.
Nice one. I can see you
have a taste of Crunch, and
yeah. Well, yeah, I've kind of been waxing lyrical about it since it came out. I think it's amazing, and it was one of my when I used to drink a fair bit more than I do at the moment. It was one of my favourite alcohol beers.
Yeah.
So to see that, I think
right,
I was probably one of your first orders on your web shop when it came out.
Brilliant.
So right, yeah, do you want to just introduce yourself, a little bit about the brewery, then we can get into the beer?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Lee. I'm the founder of Hammerton Brewery. I suppose co-founder, because me and my wife, I roped her into it at the time when we started the brewery. We started back in 2014. Started off just basically, I sort of got into beer like a lot of people do, got really into my sort of hoppy IPAs, sort of American and Kiwi dry, New Zealand dry hopped pale, sort of hop forward kind of IPAs. And at the time I was living in Islington, and there wasn't really much going on beer wise around here. I think Bermondsey Beer, well, sorry, it wasn't the Bermondsey Beer Mile then, but there was a few breweries in Bermondsey, obviously the Colonel,
Brew by Numbers.
Brew by Numbers. I think Four Pure we're just starting out, they started time to us, and then there was a couple of East London, but that was kind of it. And there isn't absolutely nothing going on. I think in North London in general, I can't remember too much going on around.
I guess Beavertown probably early doors, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were actually East London. So
really?
Yeah, so yeah, they were East London Brewery. They were Hackney Way, Dalston Way.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Islington's quite a big. Well, sorry, geographically it's a small borough, but pubs, bars, restaurants. I don't know if you've been to Islington at all, but there's a lot of pubs, bars, and restaurants. I think it's got the second highest number of alcohol licenses per capita in the UK. So there's a lot of pubs and bars. So I just thought there was something in that, and I wanted to make some amazing IPAs that I was trying, and see if we could do the same. And I thought hopefully the sort of locality, the area where we live, could kind of sustain that. So yeah, sort of put pen to paper, and after a couple of years managed to set up the brewery.
That's amazing. So I know now you've got the brewery, and then you've got the tap in the brewery as well. Is that how you set up? Was it always somewhere where people would go?
I would say at the time we set up relatively big, I think, because we've still got the same brew kit as we started on. Luckily, I managed to get some investment in, get some loans and whatnot, and got a nice size kit to start with. and nice conical FVs, all the right equipment. And we started off with 2 units. We're in the unit I'm sitting in at the moment is our tap. Now it's our converted tap room, but this was a warehouse, and then next door, just over there, is the actual brew house. But yeah, so we set up with just the brewery initially, and then we had a tap room opening once. I think it was once a month we were just doing it, where we used to clear out all the warehouse like a lot of breweries do, and up for the tap room. But after a few years, we wanted to sort of set up, we needed to expand, get a bit more space, and we wanted to have a permanent tap room. So then we managed to get hold of another unit just opposite, and we kind of moved the warehouse there and kind of spent a bit of time and effort and sort of renovated our old warehouse space to like a permanent tap room. So it's actually quite a nice, comfortable, relatively large tap room actually. So it's a nice space.
What's the nearest tube stop to you? Where's it? How would people find it?
Yeah, the nearest tube is Caledonian Road.
Okay, yeah.
Piccadilly. So it's about 7 minutes walk from there. But then there's also an overground called Caledonian Barnsbury, which takes you across North London all the way to East London, Stratford. So we're pretty centrally, technically we're North London, but 5 minutes in the car and you can be in Holborn. Well, 10 minutes in the car and you can be in Holborn. So And on a Sunday when there's no traffic.
So you kind of saw that as an area where there wasn't many breweries doing it, and
there just wasn't anything going on at all. And it's a relative. Well, I mean, like London, there's you've got people with money and people not with money, but they kind of look like the sort of catchment area was a lot of young professionals and people, same people as me that might be into beer. So so we thought that would probably hopefully be a sustainable sort of business, really. So
and 2014 is still quite relatively early on in the kind of craft beer boom, wasn't it?
I think relatively. I think it'd been sort of obviously the Colonel were one of the main ones. I can't remember what year they started, but they were one of the main ones that started, I suppose. And then it was around when we started, there was probably 6 or 7, maybe there would be more, but there were 6 or 7 main ones that everyone kind of knew about. And when we came around, like it really made an impact because it's just another one more brewery that when you could count them on your hand.
That's amazing. So I lived in London around that time, and it was amazing to be able to go and visit. And there wasn't like tons open. There was on a Saturday you could probably pick you could do 5 or 6, and then you'd have to kind of jump around. So
but obviously now it's less. Maybe 2 years ago they were popping up every kind of month or something. A new brewery. I think it's kind of petered out a little bit now, but you're still hearing about new breweries.
And so when 2014 kind of set up. When did the alcohol version of the Crunch come about? And is that one of your some more popular beers?
Crunch was. Should I chat about Crunch a bit first?
It'd be nice to hear how it came to this.
So Crunch was an idea that I had. The original, so the alcoholic version was. I think I tried I tried a few American brewed peanut butter milk stouts. I was just amazed by them, and I just thought, wow, these beers are amazing. Like, why isn't anyone doing this over in the UK? And we spent a lot of time experimenting, just trying to see if we could make, like at the time it was just we wanted to do a special, like a peanut butter milk stout, and see if we could pull it off basically. So we tried a lot, and lots of test brews and failures and awful beers, and like eventually we came up with this amazing recipe for this peanut butter milk stout, and yeah, we released it as a special. I think it was a craft beer rising one back a few years, well, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I can't remember that.
Okay.
3 years ago. And it was crazy, like just people were going crazy for this beer, the beer. So I think previous festivals that are craft beer rising, we'd sell 1 or 2 kegs per line, we'd have 4 beers. And I think Crunch, we ended up having to keep restocking, coming back to the brewery, getting kegs. I think we sold about 9 or 10 kegs of it. It just went crazy. So we just, it was just such a popular beer, and that one-off batch just sold so quickly, and it just, we just kept brewing it, and eventually we had to make it core range because it's just such a popular beer for us, and it's just sort of just became so popular with everyone. Go on.
Have you had it on, has it been on keg and cask?
I think at the start we did it a bit more on cask, but less so now, because we don't do too many of our specials in cask anymore. And we do it less so in cask nowadays, but every once in a while we do it as a special. But nice. It was just this really popular beer for us, and it kind of, it's what we're known for now, really. So our stouts, and so we carry on brewing it, and we kind of, so mainly my wife, probably about 4 years, even like 3 or 4 years ago, again, she was interested in doing alcohol-free, producing alcohol-free beers. Yeah. But at the time, we just didn't think it was possible. The methods that are now that people try, people weren't thinking of that 4 years ago. And so we kind of put that on the back burner about sort of alcohol-free, because we just didn't think it was possible. We'd have to buy different equipment. Yeah. All sorts, and and we just didn't have capital to do that. And actually, as time went on, we started to see obviously more alcohol-free beers appearing, and then tasting great as well. We sort of went back to that idea again, and our current head brewer James. So we had a chat with him, and mentioned we wanted to look into doing some AF beers, start experimenting with them, and he was really enthusiastic about it. Took that project on and did a lot of research. We did a lot of research and talked to a lot of people. The guys from Lellerman's, the yeast producers, they were really helpful as well, because they've done a lot of tests with alcohol-free beers, and so we started off with a pale ale, doing a beer called Zed, it was. We did a lot of test brews with that, and it's mainly, obviously you've spoken quite a lot about the production, methods. So ours is quite similar to everyone else's, I'd imagine, in that, I suppose yes and no, but we use the same yeast actually as we brew for our main beers. The main difference is a slight variation of malts, but the main difference is just the mash temperatures. We're brewing at different mash temperatures to, James could explain my head. Technical side of it, but essentially we're trying to make a beer that doesn't, the yeast doesn't ferment.
So by keeping it at a lower temperature, you can manage that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we did the pale AF Zeds, and then we were talking about what else we could do, and so it's a really interesting project that the AF, the first pale, we did, because it's just completely out of our comfort zone. We can brew any beer tomorrow in general. We've got the malt here and the yeast. We can crack on with it. You can't just start brewing alcohol-free beers without knowing exactly the methodology and
expertise, and
it's quite well. It's definitely one of the most challenging beers, styles we've had to do for sure, and it will continue to be. But so we were thinking about, right, what could we do next, and what would translate, and just the how the build up and the recipe of Crunch. We just thought that would work really well as an AF beer. So, and obviously, we know how popular it is, and not that meant, well, there are a few sort of pastry stouts or good AF stouts out there, but obviously nothing like Crunch. That will,
nothing. Nothing like that peanut, and it's definitely a first.
So we thought we'd have a crack at that. So we've got a small 150 litre pilot kit, and we had a few. I think we had about 3 or 4 different test brews on it, and we managed to sort of get the recipe right quite quickly, actually. So because we'd already done the trial in there on the pale ale that we did. Yeah. It was. We just thought it'd be a great beer because it's kind of sits well on any any sort of AF menu, I suppose. If you want to try something a bit funky, a bit different, and you like stouts, then it's a good beer to go to.
Oh, definitely. So. I think there's. I guess it's easy. It would be easier to not easier, but you can see why a lot of people start out with pale ales, IPAs with alcohol free. I think I think that's what makes it even more exciting. Not only is it like a very renowned beer in its own right that you've now created alcohol free, but it's also a different style that people aren't used to having in alcohol free. Which is great. And so you had the Z, and then you got this. Like, what's next? Like, is it going to be different stuff, or are you going to be looking at doing core range, or your alcohol beers made AF? Or
no. Well, I haven't quite worked out. I mean, the issue we've had obviously is the pandemic hasn't been nice to any brewery or anyone in hospitality. But we're expecting. Well, we wanted to do a lot more sort of experimental stuff on the AF side, and we just haven't had capacity because for necessity we've had to furlough quite a lot of staff and just kind of keep the overhead down. So the sort of production side of going down the AF has kind of been put on hold, which is a bit disappointing because we were really excited about what we but I don't think we'll be doing the core range in necessarily into AF versions, but what I definitely want to do is more sort of a few more hop forward pale ales, IPAs. Our first pale ale is, although it's we think it's great AF, pale. We want to sort of ramp that up a bit and hop array, because it was quite we deliberately made it quite an easy drinking pale. Just sort of anyone could pick up. But next step is to get some bigger hop profiles in there. So that's 100%. I'm itching to move forward with that. But then also stout wise, there's so much more we could do AF wise. And we're kind of I think we're quite well known for our stouts. And that's what we probably do best, I think, our stouts. And that's what we're good at. Not to say we're good at other beers as well, but
I think stouts for I think a really good alcohol-free stout goes down really well with people that drink alcohol-free. I think, because there's not that many of them. I think, and if that's what you've got, and then this is your first go into it. It's a good start, and then why not keep going and see what else you can do? And
exactly, because what happened with the original Crunch was, so I think we were quite well known for our stouts before that. So we had certainly in London, we had a beer called Pentonville, which is like an oyster stout. And kind of, we didn't really do any other stouts, and then we did Crunch because that was such a big thing. We just started thinking, right, what else can we do? So we've done all sorts in regards to stouts, banana, Black Forest Gateau, all sorts. So there's as we're saying, so we we did Crunch, transferred that over to an AF, and there's no reason why we can't do any other stouts the same, really. So because we works, the beer translates so well. Definitely want to sort of have a crack at that more. Nice. I think certainly. I just keep thinking about City of Cake, which is a beer we do. It's like a chocolate fudge cake stout, which is a bit less sort of a cult following as Crunch, but it's not far behind it. And the ratings are a lot. If you look at Untapped and whatnot, not that we pay too much attention to it, but City Cake is our highest rated.
Wow, that would be awesome. Yeah.
So that one I think would work really well on doing an AF version of that. So whether it's just cake AF like Crunch was, or whether we rebrand it as something else, I don't know yet. But I definitely want to try that. And then I like the sound of a wheat beer as well, like AF wheat beer, but I need to think about that.
Yeah.
Very well. I think it'd be great, and because I only really got into AF beers last year when we were thinking about doing ourselves, a bit more into it. And some of the German wheat beers are just incredible.
That's it. I think like for me, like I drink a lot of alcohol-free beers, and the wheat beer is the one that all the best, all of them pretty much. I don't think there's hardly any wheat beers that are brewed in the UK or by sort of independent brewers. It's all but the big German bottles, which are great. But I'd love to see someone have a crack at it, because I absolutely, especially if you're doing running or cycling, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I think I'm a bit hesitant on it because I don't know how it'd be. I think if we wouldn't produce one if we wouldn't sell it if we didn't think it was going to be good. But I don't know what the market is for it, because a lot of people that are into their wheat beer, they just probably go straight to the Germans for that, which they're amazing at it. So it's definitely one. Maybe we do like a really small batch and just see how it goes, but that's one I think would also translate well. So those are the two I'd like to do, but I think City of Cake style beer, maybe something like a chocolate fudge cake stout, something like that would work well. I think that's most likely to be our sort of next effort.
That's great. I think like it's
if we're brave enough, we might.
I think it's so exciting, and it's really refreshing to hear like someone like yourself, like such a name in craft brewing, that talking so positively about alcohol free and looking for the next venture, the next thing to do. Like it's exciting, and it's bringing that. It's like it's normalizing it. It's making it part of the craft beer world. It's not it's no longer on the periphery. It's a product that anyone can drink, and lots of people do drink now. So it's really exciting. So going into sort of next week, and obviously we've got things reopening again. I know you've got the bar as well, haven't you, down near the Home Minister Station, isn't it?
That's right.
So with that, and with your tap room opening, where can people come down and see you? When's that going to be?
So we're not opening the pub up yet, because it's got about 2 chairs we can put outside. So, so there's no outdoor space there, unfortunately. But we are opening up our tap room. So we've got quite relatively nice sized sort of outside space. So there'll be a load of benches and chairs out. So that's kind of so we're opening this Thursday, and then we got sort of extended license. One of the positives about the few positives the pandemic for the business was actually we managed to sort of get our full planning permission, because we were kind of Fridays and Saturdays and had to close early, and now we're kind of allowed to open, I think, Tuesdays till Sundays, which is great. So so I think they've been a bit more lenient, a bit nicer to sort of like businesses now, which is great. But so we're opening Thursday till Sunday at the tap room, and then I think come May we'll open the pub up again, and go from there. So we're excited for things to be opening up again. Also a bit sort of anxious because we've got a lot to do still. But yeah, it's good to see sort of things moving. You know, so a lot of our customers obviously, you know, have been shut for a very long time, and they're all open up, and you know, it's good to hear from them. So
that's great. So I guess for now we'll be able to buy your beers in the cans. Is there any plans to sort of get it on keg? Do you think that might be an option in your pub?
Yeah,
anytime soon?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure. We might. I can't remember. No, I don't think we have got any crunch in keg. We have got some Z in keg.
Wow, nice.
But yeah, we were really ready this year for crunch was going to be out in keg, and it was going to be in the bars and everything, and for dry January, and
of course
that didn't happen, unfortunately. But definitely. I think the next batch we do of crunch, we'll put some into keg because it's I think it's just going to be interesting to see how the AF market continues. You know, we all know it's going to keep growing, but just wonder how big a rate. I think obviously next January is just going to be, you know, it just gets bigger and bigger. It'd
be interesting to see what happens the next couple of weeks with people going back to the pubs and how drinking habits sort of. It might be similar to the last lockdown where there was, you know, the kind of spike in lots of people drinking, and then it fell off, and alcohol free went up a bit more, and who knows? But it's exciting times, and it's great for you guys. Really, really best of luck with everything reopening again. And thanks again for coming on and talking through your beers and your stories. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having us, and just glad everyone enjoys the beer, and that's what we do it for. So
nice one. Thank you, Lee. Cheers. Have a nice rest of your weekend.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.